This book took more than a century and a half to make. It was worked on in 2 different countries by artists who never met. And even after all that, it was never actually finished. This is the Great Canterbury Psalter. It was begun at Christ Church, Canterbury, around 1180 to 1200. The scribe copied the entire text there, and English artists completed the illumination as far as Psalm 57. But the ambitious plan to illustrate every psalm was abandoned, and the manuscript left the monastery unfinished. More than a century later, the manuscript resurfaced in Catalonia, where painters from the circle of Ferrer Bassa, court painter to the kings of Aragon, resumed the work, likely at the request of King Peter IV around the 1330s or 1340s. As the pages turn, the change is immediately visible. The English miniatures belong to a late Romanesque Anglo-Byzantine tradition. Figures are sharply outlined, landscapes are stylized, and separate episodes unfold across the same field of gold. The result is dense and highly narrative. Then the Catalan painters take over. Their figures have greater volume, their gestures become more expressive, and the compositions reflect the Italianate style that was transforming 14th century Catalan painting. But the transition is even more remarkable than it first appears. 7 miniatures were begun in England and painted in Catalonia generations later. Earlier Canterbury drawings survive beneath the work of the Catalan artists, creating pages in which 2 artistic periods exist together. The pages are equally complex in their use of text. 3 Latin versions of the Psalms, the Gallican, Roman, and Hebraic, appear in parallel columns. The Gallican version is surrounded by Latin commentary, while the Hebraic text includes an interlinear translation and glosses in Anglo-Norman French. And hidden within this multilingual structure are 4 fragments of an Old English translation. A rare survival, since Old English glossing had largely disappeared from manuscripts by this date, placed before Psalms 59, 64, 77, and 87. There is one final surprise. Despite its size and extraordinary decoration, the text ends suddenly, partway through Psalm 98, verse 6. The reason remains unknown. The Great Canterbury Psalter is therefore both a monumental achievement and an unfinished story. One that began in medieval England, continued in Catalonia over a century later, and still leaves us with unanswered questions. The facsimile was published by Molero Editor in Spain in 2004.